Hey, it's Becky with Becky's Garden Paradise, and I am out here before it gets hotter than it is already this morning to put in some work in the garden, get things cleared out from the, spring, early summer crops. Like my green beans are finished, and then I'm going to be, working more on the heat-loving crops, which I'll show you as we walk around real quick. So on this arched trellis that's in the entranceway to the garden, I have a very sad looking Cherokee purple tomato. I don't know what is going on with it, but I've watered it. I don't know. I'm going to try to fertilize it, see if I can get it out of its funk. I'm just trying to get it to hang on until the fall, where I'll think I'll get some tomatoes. But anyways, then I have sweet potatoes. I have all these green beans that have to go. They still look decent. They're still flowering, but it's too hot. Even though they're flowering, they're not producing anything. So they gotta go because they're taking up prime real estate. And then I have tomatoes. I'm going to be terminating them. So I'm going to cut the tops off because they're still blooming at the top. But I'm going to cut those tops off to get them to focus on ripening or developing and ripening the tomatoes that they already have on them. Got to clean up the eggplant, but the eggplant is still producing. Eggplant usually will do okay in the heat as long as you take care of it. Have cherry tomatoes. I have my grocery store field peas that are now at the top of this arched trellis. So they're climbers. But I have the cherry tomato that's doing really good right here. So the cherry tomato should hang on along with the field peas. All these green beans are going to be taken down. And then over here I have a mess that I got to get cleaned up. Just keeping it real, showing you guys I've been busy working hard on that Master Canning in 7 Days course. If you haven't seen that, check that out. But now I've pretty much finished all of the filming for that. And so I am excited to be able to get back out here in my favorite place, my happy place, my garden, and get it all cleaned up and taken care of. So I'm going to get this weeded, get the rest of the zucchini plants out. I have okra and tomatillos in the midst of the weeds. And then over here, okra and pink-eyed purple hull peas. And they're doing okay. I've already eaten some of those. But the okra's doing good. Okra loves the heat. So you can see I have me some okra growing on there. One looks about ready to get picked. Beautiful okra blossoms. And then in this area over here, there's another pretty okra bloom. In this area over here, my pepper forest. All these peppers are way shorter than they should be at this point. After the pepper season is over, I'm going to have to till this area because there's a lot of tree roots that have taken over this area, and so it needs to be tilled up and broken up so that, because these pepper plants are like a foot tall and they should be like 3 feet tall, but I'm still getting peppers off of them. And then that area, my neighbor weed-eated for me, and I'm going to finish cleaning it up and put ground cover over there, try to level it out, and I have some big planters I'm going to put over there. So I'm excited to show you the transformation. Another thing I have to do to transition from, my spring, early summer garden into what will become our fall garden here is I have several tomato plant transplants. I'll come around and show you. So, some tips I have for what not to do when it gets too hot to garden is don't just abandon your garden. Don't leave dead plants that could be diseased or pest-ridden in your garden. Make sure you remove those promptly. And also, don't just let the weeds go wild, because then you're going to have a really hard time getting your garden back in shape for the fall. So when it gets too hot to garden, I try to come out early in the day as much as possible. And then, or you could try to come out, late in the evening when your garden is shaded and continue to care for the plants that are heat loving. So a lot of the plants that I'm growing through the heat of the summer here in Zone 9, Northeast Florida, are things like okra and field peas and cherry tomatoes and peppers. So as long as we take care of those plants, they're still going to continue to provide for us. And I was already planning on a fall crop of tomatoes, and I had volunteers from my compost. So these tomatoes, they really need to be transplanted. A lot of people wait until September to plant their fall tomatoes, but these guys want to grow. So I'm going to give them the opportunity to do so. I have cleared all of these containers that I grew green beans in the spring and early summer. And so now it's just a matter of refreshing these containers before I plant my tomatoes in them. These are, mystery tomatoes since they came from my compost. So I'm not sure. I can guess that the taller ones are probably cherry tomatoes. I also grew Roma tomatoes last year, so the shorter ones may be Roma tomatoes, or they might just be runts. We'll see. But I have given them a light dose of fertilizer about once a week in these pots. So they literally started sprouting out of compost that I had used to top off some window boxes that I have flowers growing in on my patio. And so I just carefully transplanted them into these pots. And now I'm going to transplant them into these 4-gallon Dutch buckets. I'm just removing the tomato cages and getting them out of the way so that I can amend the soil in the pots. Free plants, you can't beat that. It's another benefit of composting is that you end up with volunteers coming out of your compost. And it's another reason why I transitioned away from using weed fabric in my garden, because when I switched to weed fabric, I had 0 volunteers in my garden, and I missed that. And a lot of times your volunteers are going to be your most vigorous plants because they're acclimated to your climate. So these containers are pretty full with soil, so they're not going to need much. What I'm going to do is add some of this. I'm going to add a tablespoon of this tomato fertilizer to each container first. And so I'll add the amendments, and then I'll mix them in, and then I'll transplant. And I grew a variety of cherry tomatoes last year, so I'm excited to see what volunteers I have. It'll be a surprise. Another thing I'm growing that's heat loving are sweet potatoes. I didn't mention earlier, but sweet potatoes also love the deep south, the super hot summers, long summers that we have. They need a long growing season. All right, I'm going to go grab a couple other things. I need to get my potting soil, and I'm going to add some worm castings. Here I have the worm castings. I'm going to add a scoop of these to each pot as well. And this is going to help replenish the soil. It also helps improve moisture retention in your soil if it's hydrophobic. So I always amend the soil between plantings. Excuse me. Last year, I planted my tomatoes in the spring, and they died back during this part of the summer, and I thought that they were done for. But then once it cooled off, they regrew and did even better in the fall, were more productive. And I had cherry tomatoes growing until we finally had a hard freeze like the second week of January of 2026, excuse me. So all through the fall into the winter, I had fresh cherry tomatoes, which was awesome. So it's another benefit of planting them in containers, because if we're going to get a frost or a freeze, I can get my dolly and move them to a safer location, like in my carport, which is what I did last year. All right, and then I'm just going to get a little bit of potting soil. Okay. Snails everywhere. I'm going to go ahead and put my gloves on, since this is pretty moist. These tomatoes are going to be much happier once they get transplanted, because they've been showing signs of struggle. I can tell they have like some vitamin deficiency in those little pots. Even though I've been fertilizing them once a week, they need to be in some real soil, in some containers. Just going to add a couple scoops to top off each pot. Probably could have got my big shovel for this. And then I can also go back and add more. I'm using my spade to break up that soil. I want to mix that fertilizer and everything in. Has the roots from the green beans I left in there, since the green beans fix nitrogen. It's not too bad though. It's always nice to plant something new in the garden. So it's kind of sad when some of your plants are finished, like my green beans did so well this year, that when they stopped producing, I knew it was time for them to go. And I just meant it was time for something new. Okay, so now I'm just going to make a hole for the pot in the center of the pot. Try not to lose potting soil. I might have to take some out. There we go. I'm going to set this right here so I can make sure that I can plant those deep enough. You can plant tomatoes, deep, because the hairs along the stems will develop roots, but you don't have to. Okay. I'm going to plant it as deep as this hole is. See those nice roots in there? Definitely ready. Just going to loosen them up a little bit. I wouldn't want them to get any more root bound than that. They were just on the verge of becoming root bound. So it's going to be so happy. Happy tomato. And then I'm just going to put the cage back over it and water it in and let it do its thing. I'm going to turn this pot around just because the leaves are more facing this way, just to help it out. All right. And tomatoes are pretty hardy. As long as I keep it watered, it's going to be fine in this heat. All right. So, moving on to the next one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to mix the amendments in this pot before I add the potting soil. So I'll be like top dressing it with the potting soil. Excuse me. My dog wants to be right there with me. Still have this shovel that I left right here in the pot. Just going to top dress it with that. All right. Looks good. I think that's root from the green bean. All right. I'm going to add that pot back to this. I'm going to mix these amendments in. Soil is dry because I hadn't been watering it since there wasn't anything in here. So I'm definitely going to give them a good drink once I get all the pots planted. And again, right now I'm just mixing in that fertilizer and the worm castings. Same thing with the other pot. I'm going to take a scoop out to make room for the new plant. I'm trying to plant the tallest first. Here we go. Fill the dirt back around it. You don't want air pockets. All right, I'm going to add a couple scoops to top dress. Beautiful. Take that leaf away. Grab the cage. These are the taller, like 4-foot tomato cages. So they're better for these cherry tomatoes that are indeterminate. And eventually, you know, they'll reach the top and hang over a little bit. But the second half of the season, it isn't as bad. If I planted cherry tomatoes in these cages in the spring, by the, you know, the end of the fall, they'd have reached the top and bent over and went all the way back down to the ground. Okay, so that's another one. I'm going to do the rest the same way.